Hello, my name is Danny, and what I'm about to tell you is something I can't explain, something that still makes my skin crawl whenever I think about it. It all happened during one of the lowest points in my life. I had just lost my job, my wife was about to give birth, and we already had 2 small children at home. Bills were piling up, food was running out, and every single day I felt the heavy weight of failure pressing down on me. I tried everything. Every morning I'd leave home early and walk from one company to another, desperately hoping to find anyone who needed help, a driver, a messenger, a security guard, anything. One scorching hot afternoon, while walking along a quiet street in Pasay, something caught my eye. A tall, rusted gate with a faded wooden sign hanging from it. In big, bold letters, it read, "Hiring driver needed." My heart leaped. Finally, this could be my chance. I wasn't a professional driver, but I knew my way around a car. I thought, maybe my luck had finally turned. I walked up to the gate and knocked. There was no doorbell, so I just kept knocking once, twice, then for what felt like several long minutes. Just as I was about to give up and walk away, a small window on the gate slid open with a creak. Behind it, a woman peeked out. She looked old, maybe in her 60s, with sunken cheeks and hollow, empty eyes. Her skin was unnervingly pale, almost gray, and her hair was tied neatly in a low bun. I managed a polite smile and said, "Good afternoon, ma'am. I saw your sign. I'm here to apply for the driver position." The woman moved her lips, whispering something, but her voice was so faint I couldn't hear a single word. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't quite catch that," I said, leaning in. "Could you please repeat it?" She moved her lips again, slower this time, but still, no sound came out. All I could hear was the faint creaking of the old gate. A sense of unease started to creep over me. Maybe she was mute, or perhaps she was sick. I was about to step even closer when a heavy hand suddenly clamped down on my shoulder. I spun around, startled. It was Ricky, a former co-worker I hadn't seen in months. "Danny," he said, his brow furrowed in confusion. "What are you doing here?" "I'm trying to apply for that driver job," I explained, pointing back toward the gate. "But the old lady inside, she's talking so softly I can't hear her." Ricky glanced at the gate, then shot me a puzzled look. "What lady?" he asked. I turned quickly to point her out, but the little window was already closed. There was no sound, no shadow. The sign was still there, just swaying gently in the hot breeze. "Wait," I said, my confusion growing. She was just there. She opened the window and she was talking to me. Ricky's face darkened, and he shook his head slowly. "Danny," he said in a quiet, serious tone, "there's no one here." "What do you mean?" I argued. "The gate, the house." He cut me off, his voice suddenly grim. "There is no house. This place has been abandoned for years. The house that used to stand here burned down. There's nothing left but an empty lot." I froze, my blood running cold. "That's impossible," I whispered. "I just saw it." Ricky sighed, walked over to the gate, and pulled the wooden sign loose. It broke apart easily in his hands, the wood old and brittle. "This sign has been hanging here since the fire," he said. "The family that lived here, they were cursed with bad luck, accidents, sickness, death. The last one happened on a road trip. The family driver lost control of the car, and everyone inside died instantly." A chill shot straight down my spine. I swallowed hard. "How do you know all that?" Ricky looked at me with tired, sad eyes. "My wife used to work for them," he said. "She told me everything. After the fire, no one dared to buy this land. They say the old woman who died in that accident still appears, especially to people who are looking for work." I didn't want to believe him. I couldn't. I turned back toward the gate, and this time, I peered through the cracks in the rusty iron. I could see what lay beyond. Nothing but overgrown weeds and the blackened, skeletal remains of a house long gone. My knees felt weak. The house I thought I saw, the woman I thought I talked to, was real. But my mind was screaming, refusing to accept it. Ricky grabbed my arm. "Let's go, Danny. Don't stay here." We walked away quickly, but even as we rounded the corner, I couldn't stop myself from glancing back one last time. The lot stood silent and lifeless, and yet, for just a split second, I saw it. Movement. Behind the gates, a small window, a pale hand pressed against the glass. Then, it was gone. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face, the hollow eyes, the gray skin, the silent, moving mouth. I kept hearing her whisper, or maybe I was just imagining it, but this time, I could almost make out the words, "Drive carefully." The next morning, I found myself walking back to that same street. I don't know why. Maybe it was morbid curiosity, or maybe a part of me needed to see it again, to prove to myself that it was all just a bad dream. But when I arrived, the entire lot was surrounded by yellow police tape. A man from the barangay told me someone had broken in the night before and never came out. They found a burned-out car inside, half buried in the weeds. It looked like it had been there for decades, and inside, they found bones. I didn't ask any more questions. I just turned and walked away, trembling. From that day on, whenever I see a hiring sign on an old gate or a quiet street, I just keep on walking, because sometimes the job you're being offered isn't meant for the living. Thanks for listening to my If you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Stay safe out there.